Well, I'm blind, so what do you want to do?
I don't know. We don't have an intro. Welcome, everybody, to the Glazier Gamble with Mychal Glaziar and Joe Rybolt back again. This is episode 29 with your weekly dose of Marvel goodness. We have two sections. This is our Marvel / entertainment. We do have a sports section. Feel free to check that out if you like sports. We got a good one for you today. We got a ton of Marvel news. We got some more Sony news. I saw a lot of people were clicking our Sony stuff last week, so we got some more of that for you. We got some exciting, fun potential castings like Charlize Theron, Justin Timberlake, Joshua Bassett. We got some Ironheart news, Deadpool 3, Black Widow 2, Thor Love and Thunder, Moon Knight, Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. We got a lot there. We got some more Morbius stuff, the Marvels new news, X-Men news, more Black Widow stuff, except not Black Widow 2, that's just Black Widow 1, Ant-Man Quantumania, Spider-Man, the future of Spider-Man, and then we have DC news with The Flash, which is some pretty devastating news. Little tweets, it's pretty devastating in my opinion.
For the devastating, can we just say Warner Brothers news?
Warner Brothers news, yeah. And then we did have something we mentioned last week with Betty White that was pretty bad timing, but now we have we want to finish up there, and then we have one random piece of news that I wanted to highlight because I thought it was actually pretty sick as somebody who's worked in the food industry and grocery business multiple times. So I want to talk about that with California and a new law. Let's jump into it. The first topic we would like to talk about, we're going to go through all of our Marvel stuff. First thing is, I'm a huge fan of both Charlize Theron and Justin Timberlake, and apparently both of them are in talks with Marvel for potential roles.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they would be. Obviously, when I've fan casted things, I've never thought Charlize Theron and Justin Timberlake. Marvel doesn't really like
both of those are action comedies. Yeah, both of those actors are action comedy in my opinion.
So Charlize Theron's probably a little bit more versatile.
Oh yeah,
I think Justin Timberlake would be great with like Paul Rudd. I think that'd be
action comedy.
That'd be a good fit.
I think both of so Charlize Theron works. She likes Seth MacFarlane a lot. They're very similar, like in terms of interests and direction they like to go with their projects.
Sure.
So she does have a really funny side, and as a person, she's also I'm a huge fan. Same with Justin Timberlake, and I think she would be awesome. So like she did, was it Atomic Blonde was one of her big ones?
Sure, yeah.
But then she's done like rom-coms. So
right.
Like you said, she's a lot more versatile. I think they could. She's the question mark to me. I think Justin Timberlake is going to be not like a Deadpool, but he'll be a back and forth banter type character. I think
right.
He's not going to be that drama character because a lot of the times dramas he's been in haven't hit well with critics, so they might not want to just pigeonhole him into that and maybe kind of hit his ego a little bit more. Keep him where he's comfortable and where he'll excel most, which would be comedy action. So whatever it is, Justin Timberlake could be it. I say it for everyone. Iceman could be good. I think he'd be a good, like you said, Ant-Man, especially with Bill Murray in there. I think he'd be a good fit for Ant-Man.
BFM, yeah.
You know what? Since we mentioned them, let's just say that quick. Bill Murray is reportedly going to his character is potentially going to be Krylar in Ant-Man Quantumania, which Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. I want to say the full thing.
Sure.
So
or the ... circle hyphen circle.
Yeah, whatever.
Parenthesis sign.
Yeah. Whatever that is, which I thought was interesting. So the character, for a lot of people that don't know, it is not an Ant-Man comic character. It is actually his first appearance was in Hulk, the Incredible Hulk #1, issue 156, which I didn't write that down, so I'm impressed with my memory there.
Wow.
Incredible Hulk 156 was his first appearance. He's a alien with green skin that is a scientist that claims that he works for S.H.I.E.L.D. So in my opinion, that could connect him with Secret Invasion. That could connect him with Secret Wars. I could connect him with Secret Wars. I think that could connect him with World War Hulk, which they said that there's something they're working on. And it could connect him with She-Hulk. We don't know if it's a role that he's going to be in multiple movies or if this is just an off character, because this is a very small
One-off.
character.
Right.
So there's no reason that he needs to be in multiple things. But he could be one of those things where he just showed, not to replace Stan Lee, but he could be a similar character like Stan Lee where he is involved with so many different things that he just kind of shows up for a scene or two here or there.
Right.
I don't think fans would be a fan of that sort of replacement of Stan
I think
Lee,
personally, I think Deadpool will fill that role.
agreed,
forward.
yeah.
But who knows?
But I think that the character is so small that, it is involved in science and Shield, so
Sure.
he could really be in multiple things. If I had to guess, I think if he does make an appearance beyond Quantumania, it will be in World War Hulk, not She-Hulk, because I think it would be something that comes out after, not before.
Right. Yeah, I think it's Secret Invasion is also a good.
Yeah.
Good vote too.
Agreed. Yeah, might as well, since we brought up Quantumania and Bill Murray, might as well bring that up. The other casting that potentially is in the works, we don't know if it's for Marvel. We don't know if it's a potential casting. We just is speculating because we've made this before. Little reminder, we have made, I think it was last time when I lost count, we were at 9 predictions that we've gotten correct.
Okay.
Podcast. So, this is a good informational, theory-wise, prediction-wise. This is a good podcast to go with. Joshua Bassett was somebody that we talked about. We want casted into Marvel. Joe actually brought this one up. He likes Joshua Bassett. He thought he would be a good casting. Joshua Bassett has said, which you wanted him as
Wiccan. Well, yeah, because I mean he is gay, and Marvel wants to kind of stay to this stereotype of the character.
Right.
He's obviously works on High School Musical, the musical. He's the star for one of those shows.
Yep.
And yeah, he looks the part too.
High School Musical, the musical, the series.
Yeah, High School Musical, the musical, the series, season 1 and season 2. So,
but yeah, he says he has something major in works in secret.
Yeah, he's got something super secret that not even his friends know about. Friends or family knows about.
Which the only type of person or the only company that is would probably
that
make
strict of an NDA.
Yeah, non-disclosure agreement would probably be Marvel, and with him being big and involved with Disney already, I think there is a good chance. I don't know if it's Wiccan specifically, but I think Wiccan would be a good guess. I think Joshua Bassett will be making his way into Marvel soon.
Sure. Yeah.
Next thing we want to talk about with another, young superhero. Wait,
one more thing.
Oh, go.
The last week we talked about Norman Reedus as Ghost Rider, and now it is or 2 weeks ago we talked about that, and it is just blowing up.
Yep,
right
we
now.
talked about it 2 weeks ago and last week.
And a long time ago, I'm sure we did too.
Oh yeah, and I think it was like episode 19, which was a couple months ago now. So
yeah, just throwing that out there. That's another one we're gonna hit the nail on the head for.
There's another. Yes, you might say, oh, Norman Reedus. Everybody else said that, but we mentioned it a long time ago. Yes, other people were talking about it, but that was just something that we've been on that train for a long time, right. And that's big now. But yeah, another young superhero. We mentioned Wiccan. Another young person that I think Marvel was gonna want to probably put in multiple projects will be Ironheart.
Yep.
Ironheart sounds like Obadiah Stane, which I believe Jeff Bridges played Obadiah Stane in the first Iron Man. He was the villain. Apparently his son or daughter, in the comic books it was a son, but it might be a daughter.
Ezekiel Stane. Zeke Stane.
Zeke Stane will be in Ironheart. So
I think it kind of sets up a nice little so if I do think that Justin Hammer will be back, whether that's in Armor Wars or Ironheart or both.
Same with War Machine.
War Machine, yeah. So War Machine will be in Armor Wars. I think Justin Hammer will be in Armor Wars. But Ironheart needs someone kind of like her age, I guess, to kind of like butt heads with. And I think Obadiah Stane's son or daughter, depending on if they want to like gender swap the role, would be perfect for her. So
I'm fine if they do son or daughter. I think it's fine. I think sticking with the comic books, it tends to lead to a higher success when it comes to box office. But you can always sacrifice a few million if you want to run in the direction that you want the comics or you want the show to go. And maybe if you want to push any sort of story narrative that you're looking for.
Sure.
So Yeah, I'm fine whichever way they go. I don't know too much about the character, so it's not one of those ones that I feel like affects me a ton if they switch it. It's not like, oh, we're gonna.
Right, it's gonna be a story that I'm not familiar with, Ironheart story. So
right, it's
I
not
know
like, we're gonna make Hulk
Riri Williams was kind of mentored by Iron Man. Iron Man went into a coma or something like that, and then Ironheart made her own suit.
Iron Man actually used the Infinity. He snapped and killed himself.
Oh.
I wasn't sure if you've seen Endgame or not.
What is that?
Oh, it's like a board game that Marvel made called Endgame, and at the way to win the game is you have to get the Iron Man token with all 6 Infinity Stones attached. Oh, and then he dies. So that's what happened.
Okay.
The next piece of news that we want to talk about is another thing the Joe added here. Deadpool 3 is supposedly going to have cameos of characters like Nick Fury, Hulk, Daredevil, and we'll get to see Deadpool visit some of Marvel's most iconic moments. So that means he'll be traveling through time then?
I'm not sure. I mean, he's got the cable bracelet, you know what I mean? So and those two, Deadpool 1 and Deadpool 2, are canon to him. So
my biggest question about Deadpool 3 is he able to change the events of time by going back? Because I want to see did he bring his girlfriend back? Did he save her? Did he bring her back? Because they make it seem like he can't, but then in the credits he does.
Yeah. See, I don't know, because
I want them to answer that, please, because I get that Ryan Reynolds' number one thing is sarcasm. I am all for that. I think that's fine. I think that's probably why I think he's so funny. Sarcasm's great.
And if Green Lantern doesn't exist, then how did they get the idea for Miss Marvel?
Exactly. Now you're thinking, and how are they going to do the choker for Black Bolt? You mentioned that as well.
Yeah, I don't know
how they're going to do it. So I want them to answer that first and foremost, and then go ahead and jump through the other Marvel timelines, do whatever you want with the cable bracelet. But I need to figure out if his girlfriend's alive, because I still to this day am like, did he change the events of time, or is this just kind of a hey?
Right, and is it an absolute point in time?
Right.
Is it an absolute point in time and he messed it up and it's going to look like Doctor Strange's world?
Like Doctor Strange's girlfriend dying, or Iron Man dying.
Yeah. So I think Iron Man was an absolute point in time, though. So
100%. There's no way it wasn't an absolute point. I know that there are people out there on the internet, the dark corners, that like to argue that it is not an absolute point, that they could have done something about it. But no, it's an absolute point. Get over it. But I think the cameos are cool too. Nick Fury, Hulk. I think we need more Hulk. I've heard
it's hard to say after Endgame, because Endgame Hulk sucked.
Right. Well,
and Infinity War Hulk sucked. We didn't get Hulk.
You gotta make Hulk
Ragnarok Hulk.
Yeah, you gotta bring Hulk back. Bring people make sure the last thing they think of Hulk is not Endgame and then this mentorship in She-Hulk. I don't want that to be. He has to. That's why World War Hulk's coming. We have to let Hulk do Hulk things. And he's one of the most popular Marvel characters ever. A lot of people in the older generation he's one of the superheroes. He's one of the heroes you think of.
Right.
Just gamma radiation created, something went wrong, and now he's got super strength, super speed, invincible. He's just he's classic superhero. And I think the younger generation and the future younger generations
webs.
I think they've kind of fallen away from Hulk, and I don't think that is smart. I think merchandising wise, movie potential wise, character wise, he's a character you're going to want to invest in. So I think we should get more,
especially
Hulk.
with all I agree. I think we should get a World War Hulk. That'd be insane. And then also with all the run-ins with time and stuff, you've got Maestro down the line too. So
right,
you can do Maestro. So there's two different avenues, I think.
I agree 100%. So I want to see, and I would love to see what Deadpool's interaction is with Hulk. He's got
Fury or Daredevil. Any Deadpool's interaction with anybody.
I really hope the interactions with Fury mention the fact he's like, I thought Nick Fury was a white guy. I would love to see a joke referencing the comic book version.
Yeah, and then Nick Fury's even and I thought Wade Wilson used to be a
right. I thought you were a white guy. I thought you were from DC. Wait, I think that would be. I think that'd be sick. So, Deadpool, it allows a lot of universe talk, transfer, fourth wall breaks, allows for so much more references that are just pure comedy reference, doesn't mean anything, not Easter eggs, just pure references for fun. And I think that's where they should keep going with it. Let's move on to the next thing, which is something I wasn't too excited to hear about with the name. You said there's a potential Black Widow 2 with Florence Pugh and Hailee Steinfeld as a team up, as a duo, or just, working together.
I don't know. I think it'd probably be Florence Pugh's story.
Right.
But her and Hailee Steinfeld's Kate Bishop were pretty hilarious when they were together.
I have seen multiple pages, YouTube channels, everything dedicated purely to their partnership and their interactions. There are entire highlight pages on YouTube where they broke down and just uploaded all the scenes on which they were there together.
Right.
So people are big fans, if you want to say that. They are big fans of those two together. I think that they were great together. Their chemistry was awesome. They were very funny. Yeah. And I'm cool with it. I personally don't like Black Widow 2. Yeah, I get that she's a Black Widow assassin, but she's not a Black Widow assassin.
And the Red Room's done. So and she's been saving people. So I don't know.
So I mentioned either last episode, 2 episodes ago, 3 episodes ago, whatever it was, I think one thing that Marvel is missing in their current universe and things that they're doing, they don't have any characters that they have made up purely themselves. And I think that Florence Pugh / Nat's sister, I don't know, does she have a superhero name in the comics?
Let me look.
Because this seems like a perfect opportunity for Kate Bishop to give her a superhero name.
She's just tragic spy Elena Belova, also known as Black Widow.
Exactly. So don't make her the new Black Widow. She's not going to want to be Black Widow.
Right.
This is a perfect time for Kate Bishop to give her a name and have Marvel come up with this new character with a new name. 100%. I'm not going to be able to come up with something genius right now, but to come up with something, it doesn't have to be spider based, it doesn't have to be assassin based, just like Black Widow was, or it can be something to reference her, obviously, but something that pairs well with a Hawkeye. I don't think she's going to be going by Hawkeye, but we'll see. Something that pairs well with that. I think this is a perfect time for Marvel, the current Marvel and Disney, to come up with a new character. Not only do you not have to worry about a lot of copyright issues when you're coming up with a new character, just make sure that the name is what you have the rights to. This is a perfect time. Florence Pugh, loved by fans. Florence Pugh, someone you want to move forward with because beautiful, very talented, character is loved on screen. It's just everything is this is who you want to move forward with, whether she's a leader of the next group, whatever. This is a perfect person to start something new with, and I think come up with a new character. That's what I want. There's a little me on a soapbox, little rant there.
Yeah, stop. Let's not have her kind of ride the coattails of Nat. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. I don't want.
That was Nat's story. Nat's story's over. She's her own.
She was a side character in Black Widow. She was part of Nat's story. She is part of Hawkeye and Hailee and Kate Bishop's story.
Right.
When she gets her own story here, I don't want Kate Bishop to come in and take it away from her because she doesn't have that title herself.
Right.
Yeah. Give her something.
And she's officially she's past Nat, she's done mourning, I guess. She didn't seek revenge. She did seek revenge, but she forgave, you know what I mean? Acceptance or whatever. So yeah, that's done. You can still reference Nat, you can reference that she's a Black Widow, you can reference that she's an assassin, that she's killed people before, but yeah, I agree. Have her go forward and do something else.
See, that's no other podcast, no other channels talking about that. No, come on. This is why you watch the Glaziar Gamble. All right. Next topic, we did want to talk up. Joe also put this one down. Another character, side character. We were talking about side characters, talking about characters in other movies. Thor: Love and Thunder. This is our Thor: Love and Thunder news. Eitri.
Eitri. Yeah.
Peter Dinklage's character in Thor
Ragnarok
is rumored to come back in Love and Thunder, which
was it Ragnarok or was it Endgame? It was Endgame.
He got
Stormbreaker.
He made Stormbreaker.
Stormbreaker, yeah.
He's a well-liked actor, and he's a character that shouldn't just be a one-off thing. He should be.
Right, he makes mythical weapons there. He made the Infinity Gauntlet. He made
Stormbreaker, Mjolnir. Yeah. He could easily make something for Valkyrie since she's going to be in multiple projects.
Or Beta Ray Bill.
Right, yeah. So you're going to be making things. So we're going to have other celestial weapons like the Black Sword or the Never Sword.
All Black the Necro Sword.
All Black the Necro Sword. Thank you. Yeah, we're gonna have other celestial weapons. So he's somebody that you're probably going to want to have around. So I'm not surprised to hear that in the slightest.
Right.
We did mention Valkyrie, so might as well mention her in the Marvels. It is confirmed Valkyrie will be in the Marvels. So that's another, seems like it's going to be another strong female-led movie. They've been leaning towards that. It's getting to the point where it might be like a 95% female.
Right. You might have Yonrog in there. You might have Fury.
Right. But they're probably not going to be in it much. It's Monica Rambeau. It's Captain Marvel. It's Miss Marvel. It's Valkyrie. It's probably going to have Thor, but Jane Foster's Thor.
It's their A-Force. It's their A-Force movie.
Right. It's the A-Force movie. If they market it as the A-Force movie, I think that's going to take a major hit at the box office.
Right.
I hope Thor Love and Thunder has a good lead into it because I like Valkyrie a lot. Right. And I think the character is not only funny but like actually pretty badass.
Right.
So the fact that she's in it, like I think that's really cool. But I would like to see them how they're marketing the Marvels. It's making me want like how do they plan on do they plan on marketing it as an A-Force? I'm seeing it either way.
Right.
But do they plan on marketing it as an A-Force movie or do they plan on marketing it as the Marvels? It's just.
Well, since they changed the name from Captain Marvel 2 to the Marvels, well, they didn't change it, but they're like, it's the next movie, I guess, in her,
right? Like
her story.
Title to this time,
right? Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be the A-Force.
I agree.
But yeah, I think
because I mean, like even with the fan backlash of the A-Force scene, Marvel has doubled down that they were big fans of that scene and loved it.
Yeah.
Even though some of the actors have quietly stated that they were not fans when they were in it. But
I just love how Spider-Man just disappears. That's my favorite part. It just doesn't exist anymore. He like hands it off and then it's gone.
I thought the A-Force scene was forced, but
it was A-Force.
It was A-Forced. It was forced up our ass.
Okay, so here's how. What I would have liked to see is like so Proxima was gone. Most of the people died, right? Or no, they're all back, right? So I don't know, have like outside of like Scarlet Witch has her one off with Thanos. Captain Marvel has the thing with the ship, right? So you've got all like the not as powerful people. And like, what if you just had all of them like kick like Call Obsidian's ass? Like Wasp is like flying around, you know, Valkyrie's there, Rescue's there, not Gamora, you know what I mean, right? Like They all just like just come flying in different directions to beat the shit out of Call Obsidian or something.
Right. I also think, I mean, if the movie was already, you might as well make it a little bit longer.
I would have rather had that of them just for some reason like the battlefield is like flooded with Chitauri and stuff, but there's like one area where it's like just Call Obsidian and no one else is interfering, and then just like all of the women are beating the shit out of him.
Yeah,
that's what I would rather have that show me the power of, you know,
and you can accentuate like what makes each one of them powerful as opposed to all of them just standing there.
Yeah, rather than being like, oh, we have Scarlet Witch that could kill Thanos, and then we have Captain Marvel which can kill Thanos, but like we've got those guys, we're gonna highlight them.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I agree. So yeah, I'm interested, all of that to say, I'm going to be paying attention to how they market the Marvels. I don't think it's going to be marketed as an A-Force movie, but as of right now, it's definitely going to be a strong female empowerment movie, 100%, and following up Thor: Love and Thunder, which is probably going to also be a very strong female empowerment movie. So the next thing we will talk about is Moon Knight. Actually has I was paying attention on social media, Twitter, Reddit, all these different things. Moon Knight has trended at least 3 days a week for the last 3 weeks. I think people are getting antsy. This is the peak. This is the peak. If we don't get some news about it, you're gonna start seeing people fall off.
Sure.
So eventually, if you don't release something from Moon Knight now or within the next week or so, there are people that are not going to watch the show.
I mean, we did get the longest sneak peek out of any of the things. You know what I mean?
And we got that costume leak a while back.
Yeah, but 40 seconds of
Right.
content. We want a 2-minute trailer or whatever.
I'm fine with a minute and a half.
Yeah.
Minute.
Sure.
I'm fine. You gave us 40 seconds plus a minute and a half. We're over 2 minutes of it. I don't want too much spoiled, so I'm fine with a minute and a half. I think that'd be fine. I would be fine with a couple stills and a poster.
Right. A poster would be sick.
I think a poster would be sick. So give us something, especially with a blade in the back. That'd be sick. So we'll see. I think we're at the point
Ethan Hawke in a mysterious role in the background.
Give us something, because otherwise you are going to start losing some people, or you're going to have people like Spider-Man that are going to try to target you with leaks. All right, so the next thing we're going to cover is some Multiverse of Madness news. We got quite a bit for you. All right, we are back. Like we said, we're going to cover some Multiverse of Madness topics. We got quite a bit of Multiverse of Madness topics. So first thing is Simu Liu says, stop asking if I am in Multiverse of Madness. I don't know how much clearer I can be. Andrew Garfield said the same thing. Charlie Cox said the same thing. So
I don't think it makes any sense, personally.
It really does not. I think the next time that we see Shang-Chi should be
Shang-Chi 2.
See, that's the thing is he was with Wong. That's why everybody thinks he's going to be in Multiverse of Madness, is because he was with Wong.
Yeah, but Bruce Banner was always there. Was also there.
So was Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel was always also there. Could we see him in She-Hulk? Probably not. Could we see him in the Marvels? Probably not. Doesn't make sense for Multiverse of Madness. It's too packed already, in my opinion. You're going to get Strange, you're going to get Wanda, you're going to get America Chavez. You're going to get everyone else that's rumored to be in it.
Well, I mean, it's the runtime's long enough. They can throw him in there. It's going to be over 3 hours long. So.
Right.
So
that's what it's at right now. But
yeah, the initial cuts, the first cut is over 3 hours long, near 3.5 hours long.
Yeah. So.
Which the initial cut of No Way Home was 3 hours and 18 minutes or something like that. So it's around there. So it could get under 3 hours. But, if they try to include heroes like Shang-Chi, it will not be under 3 hours. So I don't think it makes any sense to put him in there. Obviously, I'd want more of him. I think Simu Liu is awesome. And the character.
I think the next thing you could see, maybe a reference to it, maybe be in Quantumania. That's my guess, because I think those bracelets, those gauntlets, the 10 rings, are like a beacon for Kang. And I don't think they were sure on how Shang-Chi was. I don't know if they thought it was going to be super successful. I don't know if they thought it was going to be received super well. I know they probably thought they did a great job making it, but they weren't sure how the public was going to receive it. So I don't think they tried to think of all right, these are all the things we want to put him in after it's going to become a huge success. I think they were going to see how well it did before they thought about what they should put him in. So I think while they would like to put him in something like Multiverse of Madness, I don't think it makes sense. I think they're gonna. I think Feige has ideas. I'm sure he for sure was probably all right, we're gonna do Shang-Chi. He's gonna be part of the universe. We're gonna put him in we have a chance to put him in these projects going forward, depending on how the story adapts.
Some random dude tweeted me that he wants to play it, so we're gonna put Shang-Chi in here. We're gonna have that guy play Shang-Chi and
right. Yeah. Same dude that played Druig also did that same thing. So time for us to tweet. Put us in the background.
Yeah. Put our podcast up on the back. Talking about everyone.
A bumper sticker. That's it. Come on.
Do something. But yeah, so I don't think it makes a lot of sense. I agree with you 100%. This is one of those people that is saying that aren't going to be in it, that I believe that he's not going to be in it. I don't think it makes sense financially. But if I vote, I'm fine with it. I think I thought this about Endgame though. There was too many people, and it was clear they wanted to give everybody screen time, so they took away necessary screen time to put unnecessary screen time for other people. I think I would rather see Shang-Chi get a full-length movie again, get a Shang-Chi Chu part of Spider-Man, like teaching him the way of the spider. Like, I would rather see that sort of thing with a full-length feature film as opposed to, oh, by the way, Shang-Chi's in this movie for a scene.
Now they did the Peter Tingle thing, right? They said he didn't have the snap. He got snapped. He didn't have his Spidey sensor anymore. So I feel like that would have been the opportunity for them. But Shang-Chi wasn't established yet. So I guess I would like to see the Shang-Chi and Iron Fist team up. So.
But he has his Peter Tingle back.
Yeah, he's got it back now. So I mean, if he loses it somehow,
we'll find out. But yeah, so other Multiverse of Madness news. We got one last big thing. We covered the two small stuff, Simu and runtime. The big thing is, so there's 3 Doctor Stranges that have been shown for this. It is the MCU Doctor Strange. There has been Supreme Strange that is shown from What If, or a lot of people are calling him Evil Doctor Strange. It is Supreme Strange, Sorcerer Supreme Strange, however you want to phrase it. He's not the evil Doctor Strange. If you watched What If, you should know he's not pure evil, and what he did with his intent was not with evil intent. In my opinion, I don't view him as evil, similar to I don't really view Joker from Batman, that sort of thing, as evil. You know, they just have different viewpoints and ideals.
I mean, Punisher would be considered evil, so
exactly. Batman for a lot of people would be considered evil. I do not like people calling him Evil Doctor Strange, because he's not evil. But Supreme Strange, Sorcerer Strange is going to be in this movie. But the third version, which has been confirmed, Defender Strange. It's marketing.
He's been a part of the Defenders, too. I mean, that's just
is most likely a version of Doctor Strange that works with the Defenders.
So that makes me think now that maybe he's experienced the multiverse himself, and so now that this Defender Strange is the one that's kind of protecting the multiverse.
The purpose of Defender Strange in the comics is he is Earth's #1 defender against multiversal travel villains and threats. So he is familiar with the multiverse already, and should be, and he is, whatever version of Earth he is from, he is the primary multiversal magic threat defender. Not all threats, but he is the biggest threat, or he is the biggest defender when it comes to magical multiversal threats.
Sure.
So yes, he is already familiar with multiversal travel. I do not believe he's going to be the version in the comics where he brings in the Defenders, like they've mentioned.
Right.
He might.
That was a really weird iteration of the Defenders. Like, it wasn't the Defenders you're used to, like Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist. Like, it's a different group, and they tag themselves as the Defenders. But
right, I think he might be familiar with Daredevil. That, like, he might. Sure. I don't think it would be Charlie Cox, because Charlie Cox would be our MCU's Daredevil. So maybe Ben Affleck would be a fun little
right.
Like that.
Anything can happen.
If we're talking fan pleasing the fans, what I would love is that Defender Strange to have a Ben Affleck show up as Daredevil for 1 second or something like that. Jennifer Garner's like something like that. I think that would be fun.
No, you lost me now.
You lost me on that one as well, but I'm just saying, like, something like that would be a fun little toss it in.
They might as well.
We were talking about with like Simu Liu getting one scene. That's the sort of cameo I want for one scene. If you're giving me one of our big characters, I want more than a scene. But I think this version of Defender Strange is going to be more like what we see traditionally in the comics when he takes a larger role, which the other primary defenders of the multiverse in the comic books with Defender Strange are Hulk and Namor, and then later on are added Silver Surfer is the last one added. I think that's pretty sick, because Namor's supposed to be coming in Black Panther 2.
Yep.
Now, eventually, he's probably going to flip from villain to hero. I think it would be fun to see, a taste of what Namor could be like.
We're not going to get Namor until Black Panther 2.
Right.
which I believe
So
is
this would be a
the
different
second half of the year.
Yeah.
Could be a different Namor. I don't know if they do that.
this is
But
what-
another thing is Illuminati is rumored a lot too, and who is also featured in the Illuminati. Namor is also one of the people in the Illuminati. So
You mentioned a rumor last week. Might have been the week before, but you said Edward Norton's Hulk might make an appearance, or that Eric Bana's Hulk might make an appearance.
Yeah.
Hulk is one of the other ones I mentioned here. We don't want to release Namor yet until Black Panther 2 comes out, so they probably won't show Namor. Silver Surfer, this probably isn't the time they're going to introduce the Fantastic Four. However, they mentioned that
Illuminati.
Chris Evans might make appearance as Human Torch for a second.
Yeah.
So you might get the Silver Surfer appearance for a second. I think Eric Bana or Edward Norton, so probably Eric Bana's Hulk potentially is the Defender Strange's partner.
Yeah.
I think that would be awesome.
Things are clicking now, and Patrick Stewart is supposed to be in this, if he's the Professor X from that universe.
This is what I'm saying. I think Eric Bana's Hulk could be Defender Strange's partner in defending the multiverse.
Right.
That's his Hulk.
Okay.
That's my theory.
Tom Cruise is supposed to be like Iron Man from another universe. That's all coming together.
These are fun theories that I'm not seeing other people talk about. And when I saw the Defender Strange thing, I was doing some research, and I was trying to connect other theories that
so it just clicked in my head that could be what they're doing too. So
I think you have
you're gonna see the same characters. You're gonna see the same characters. You're gonna see an Iron Man, which is like Doctor Strange deals with the mystical arts, right? Iron Man leads the Avengers, so now it's like, okay, so Doctor Strange is working with Iron Man, the Tom Cruise's Iron Man or whatever. They could be the same world that Professor X exists in. They could be Eric Bana's Hulk. So I can see it. I don't think you're gonna get Namor. You could get.
I don't think you'll get Namor, which is why I think you're more towards the Hulk.
You could get the Reed Richards from the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Not Fan Four Stick, but Fantastic Four.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
which is why, like, Silver Surfer, Chris Evans is Human Torch.
Yeah, if Chris Evans comes in and they're all like, Cap.
Right. I think those are all huge potential possibilities that are brought in through Defender Strange's universe.
I think that the there being an Illuminati already built in a different universe could lead our Doctor Strange to start building his own Illuminati on our MCU.
For sure, which is then gonna have, and since you'll get the idea of who fits the best Illuminati from other multiverses, might make him try to seek out his universe's Reed Richards, his universe's Namor, which would then put Doctor Strange most likely in Black Panther 2 for at least a scene or credit scene. So Doctor Strange, they said, is going to be taking in, this is another rumor, theory, whatever that people have been talking about, or leak, that Doctor Strange will be taking on the new Captain America type role.
Yeah.
He also could be that guy that shows up in every credit scene recruiting these new people into the Illuminati.
Right. Yeah. No, for sure. I think that's a great idea. Since he's going to be like, all right, Iron Man's gone, right? I could go find my Hulk. I know that my Hulk exists. My Bruce Banner exists. I don't know who the hell Professor Charles Xavier is or Reed Richards, but I'll find them. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. So I think that'd be amazing.
Great idea.
So
great idea.
Defender Strange, I think people should pay a lot of attention to. Theories are going to be coming out, and mark our episode.
I think it's Illuminati. I think it's the Illuminati.
I think it's the Illuminati brought in through the idea of Defender Strange, and Defender Strange is going to be the key connection to the cameos, the Easter eggs, all the fun connections that they can make are going to be through his universe, because that's going to be a universe that we're not going to see much of, so they can bring people in like Chris Evans, Human Torch, because we'll never see that again.
It could even be Toby's universe.
Exactly.
Toby, J. Jonah Jameson, when he's asking for ideas on who Dr. Octopus should be, his news guy goes Doctor Strange, and he's like, good, but take it.
Right, there you go.
So
it's all of it could come together, and it's
You
cool
heard it here
to
first.
finally get to some connections, and you heard it here first. I'll pin the tweets. We'll like it. We'll make sure everybody pays attention. This is
That was
going to
good.
get its own segment.
Yeah, you
for
had
sure.
to lay the first line for me, and then I was like, okay, this. Yeah,
Yeah,
hit to lay the first line, and then it all connected.
The other thing connected with Doctor Strange is that the other characters that Doctor Strange brought into the universe in the comic books were Valkyrie. He won't do that. Then there's Nighthawk, Beast, Gargoyle, Hellcat. I don't think they'll go with any of those.
Hellcat in the Jessica Jones is now at the Raft in her world, so and she's evil.
I think you'd most likely, out of all those, you might get Beast if they want to introduce Professor X and say
Beast
that
is one person that they need to make because he's a huge political figure.
they need to do Beast right. They need to do Beast a lot better. Like I like
Kelsey Grammer's.
I like Kelsey Grammer's Beast. I think Nicholas Hoult did a good job as Beast, but the creation of the character was where it faulted. So I hope that they do Beast right. So I hope that Beast is not the one they bring in. If they were to bring in any of those, I would probably see Gargoyle, but I don't think they'll do any of those. I think it's going to be more the introduction of the Illuminati or those bigger characters like Eric Bannis Hulk. So
I just can't. And Black Bolt even too. I mean, you could say
some
that
Inhumans in there.
that shitty Marvels and Humans that the same director of Iron Fist season 1 directed. You could bring him back.
Speaking of shitty Marvel products, though, New Mutants was delayed like a whole bunch. Well, Morbius has now been delayed by even more times. Has now been delayed even more. Morbius has officially been delayed another few months till April 1st, April Fool's Day, which I was like, oh, they're joking with it. April Fool's Day. No, it's been delayed. It is reported that behind the scenes, they did not want to compete with the fallout of Spider-Man No Way Home, and they wanted to make sure people cooled off in the meantime.
They didn't expect Spider-Man No Way Home to do what it's doing.
Right, mostly due to the pandemic. They did not expect it.
And they wanted a different quarterly profit.
Yeah. Yep.
So
Morbius was not delayed for production reasons or anything like that. Morbius was delayed.
It could be like they could be like, shit, what if we bring Andrew Garfield in and now he's in this universe?
What if we just shoot a quick credit scene with Andrew Garfield now? Let's just do that. It could be something like that. However, from behind the scenes, the rumors, discussions, that sort of thing, it sounds like it is purely a fiscal decision.
Yeah, financial.
Purely because of No Way Home being too much. The effects of No Way Home have shattered across the movie scene. If you have not seen, a lot of movies are taking deficits. They are not making a lot of money, most likely because people have decided, I want to see one movie. If I have to see one movie over the next 6 months, if I'm going to risk anything during the pandemic, for people that are nervous about going to theaters, the one movie they were willing to risk it for was No Way Home. The one movie they're willing to spend that money on. A lot of people have lost their jobs, that sort of thing, so they don't have as much disposable income or income they're willing to spend.
But they're being told you have to see this movie.
No
by
Way
their
Home
friends
is
and
the
whatever.
one. So
Yeah.
Matrix saw a huge decrease in expected viewership. A lot of the bigger movies missed out.
Yeah. Also, Matrix is on HBO Max, so like
Right.
a lot of people who have that will.
And then a
watch
lot
that,
of
right?
streaming movies saw increases in views when they a lot more viewers than they expected, including things like Don't Look Up. Got a lot more views than they expected. So, I think No Way Home is, you've seen the ripple effect, like I said, shattered. It's just all over. We've seen the effect, and I think Morbius was smart.
People are willing to get back out there now. You saw Black Widow had a kind of small number. Shang Chi was a little bit higher. Eternals was,
And part of that is because this movie's huge. Like,
right.
if Multiverse of Madness
IP,
came out a month before No Way Home, both would have exploded.
Yeah.
It's just it's the certain movies as well, just too big.
And I believe now Multiverse of Madness comes out before Morbius, I think.
Yeah, it does. Yep.
So
There's another movie that comes out before Morbius too, or another show. I think Miss Marvel.
Yeah,
No,
they haven't came out with
huge
Morbius.
list.
They haven't came out with Morbius 1 yet. There's not a Morbius 2.
There was something else. I was looking online. There's another product that now comes out before Morbius, but don't need to waste time just trying to think of that. Speaking of mutants,
Oh my god.
X-Men. Longtime producer for Marvel, Simon Kinberg, says Marvel is trusting Kevin Feige to handle the future of X-Men. And what they mean by that is they think that if Kevin wants to bring back previous members into this current timeline and universe, they trust his decision. If they want to remove it, they trust his decision. And they believe that he has full reign of control.
It's the Batman. That's what's coming out. That's the big movie that's coming out before
Okay.
Morbius.
I thought it was a Marvel product, but that sounds
just
about
as,
right.
that one's gonna be just as big.
I agree giving Kevin Feige the power though. I think him and Jon Favreau should probably have most control over these big decisions. Make sure you have your big team of people that keep the story straight. A lot of people you're working with under you, like Chloe Zhao. I think you should keep bringing her back. I can't think of her name, the one who directed Loki.
I know what you mean.
I feel disrespectful not remembering her name. However, bring her back. I know they weren't bringing her back for season 2, but you keep these people that have been handling larger products.
Destin Daniel Cretton?
Destin Daniel Cretton for
Shang-Chi.
You bring back these people that are handling these newer products and you keep them in the loop, but the person making the final decisions should be Kevin Feige.
Yeah.
So I agree with that.
And Michael Russo for Secret Wars.
We will see. They are still unsure if they want to work with Disney or Marvel again.
Yeah, well, Nat's back.
We'll see. The next thing, speaking of Nat, good little transition there.
I wasn't even looking.
Disney has said that they lost over $600 million on Black Widow piracy. So it was $29.99 on Disney Plus if you wanted to premiere access it, and the average price of a movie ticket across the country for a singular person, I believe, is like $15 in most rural states and coastal states. It's something like $19. So I average that out from $30 and $20, $25. $25 on average per person to view the movie. 600 million, that would be 24 million individual times that movie was pirated on average. So roughly. That is a ton. Yeah. And apparently that's more times pirated than No Way Home. So more people were willing to give the money to No Way Home, but they weren't willing to go see Black Widow for some reason. Probably because the movie wasn't
personally like the one thing I did like about it was the fact that we could watch it. It was really nice to watch it at home.
Right. It was very nice, and it was cool. I got to go over to your place. We sat down, got to watch it. It was cheaper. It ended up being cheaper to watch it as a group of people at your place as opposed to all of us going to the theater. And I don't know. I like that. I like the premiere access. I understand wanting to support theaters because I like supporting theaters. Our friend Mike actually used to work at a movie theater, so I'm sure he agrees. Like, you want to support movie theaters. He actually really enjoyed working at theaters, so I'm sure he really feels that way. But I want to support movie theaters, but it was very nice. I think having the option for certain movies. There are certain movies I would much like. Multiverse of Madness, if they released it on Disney Plus, I'd go in theaters. Right. I'm not wasting my money.
The masterpiece that's going to be like it's going to blow your mind anyway.
Absolutely. Avatar 2. I know that's not Disney it is Disney, but I know it's not Marvel.
It's Disney now, yeah.
Right. I'm not going to go see Avatar 2 on Premiere Access. I'm going to go in theaters.
Well, yeah. Well, if your bladder could take that, I mean,
I don't know if my bladder is going to be By the way, this is one thing my wife actually wanted me to mention this as well. Can we get a petition for my bladder, please? These movies,
bathroom breaks,
intermissions need to come back if we're going to go back to regular movies. I know that movie times fluctuate over time. If we're going back to that, like Lord of the Rings time of pushing 3.5 hours with all these movies,
was crazy long.
If we're gonna go back, can we please bring intermissions back? You know how happy a lot of people would be. I know you're risking, a lot of that probably increases piracy chances and that sort of thing. All of this stuff, people sneaking in things. Oh my! Please bring intermissions back, because the ability I can't snack or drink, which is probably good for my health. But I like being able to snack while watching. The last 2 or 3 movies we've gone to, I didn't take a single sip or snack because I didn't want to risk missing the movie. So please bring that back. Anyway, we can move on to the next thing. Andrew Garfield said he is definitely open to returning as Spider-Man. No shit. He is, not only did he enjoy playing the character, but everybody wants to see it. It would make him tons of money. I know that's not his primary focus.
Sony tons of money.
Yeah, and I know it's not his primary focus. Like, I know a lot of actors, money isn't their primary focus, but come on, people.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So that might have been hard to see for people, but
no, you can see it pretty good.
Let's just make more content, more money for Sony and Marvel, and Andrew Garfield. Everybody loves him. Everybody loves the movie. So yes, I agree. Well, then let's jump into our miscellaneous section. Thank you for all paying attention to our Marvel miscellaneous. Let's start with DC news. The Flash, which is the newest DC big movie that's supposed to be coming out, supposed to be major, huge movie.
That's like the DCEU movie.
The DCEU. Yep, DC Extended Universe.
Yep.
Apparently the movie's plan and plot is to pull an X-Men Days of Future Past / whatever those movies. They plan on erasing all previous heroes and timelines and universes that have currently happened, which would be removing Ben Affleck as Batman. It would be removing Michael Keaton as Batman. It would be removing Henry Cavill as Superman. It would be removing Christopher Reeves as Superman. It would be Christian Bale, Adam West as Batman. It would be removing all universes.
But it's keeping Ezra Miller's Flash.
So everything would be the TV Flash.
What about
Green Arrow? Green Arrow. I think it would be removing. I guess in the article,
Aquaman
and the stuff I was reading, it didn't mention Aquaman or Shazam
or Wonder Woman.
It mentioned the primary focus was Superman and Batman. All the versions of Superman and Batman, and the other versions of Flash. But it plans on removing all of them and their timelines and their universes. I'm not sure how they plan on doing it. It's probably something to do with Flash's speed with time.
Well, I mean, Ezra Miller showed up in the Barry Allen, he is Barry Allen, in the Flash show, when they did I forget what it's called, Flashpoint? I don't know.
Whatever it is. I haven't been paying too much attention to DC because it doesn't sound like I'll have to pay attention to any of it until after this movie. But yeah, I think that's a huge risk. But I know Henry Cavill wanted to play Superman. This just frees
a perfect fit.
This just frees him up to go back into Marvel. Go into Marvel. He was interested in creating a Warhammer movie or show.
All right.
This gives if you give him free time to do some of this more nerdy stuff. The more I find out about Henry Cavill, the more I like about him.
Yeah, absolutely. He's the king of the nerds.
He's got 5 brothers. He's one of 5 brothers. He seems super, super cool. I am fine. Yes, I want him to be Superman because he's a perfect Superman. Obviously, DC might not feel that same way. However, while I want that, I think this is smart. What have we said for a long time? We've said this for years before we even had a podcast. DC needs to hit the reset button because they've convoluted themselves so much to this point that it's just muddy. I don't know a better word for it. It's just, you have to hit that reset button. If Ezra Miller is the one person you've decided to move forward with, great. I think he's a good Flash. I think he's also a very good actor. He's especially drama roles. So I think go for it. Go ahead and move forward with it. It's disappointing, but I overall think it's the right decision.
Yeah, I think Keaton's going to be in that too.
Agreed.
To kind of be like a mentor for him,
and
knowing
he's probably going to be moving forward as Vulture for another movie or two. A Sinister Six movie.
Morbius.
Yeah. And he's probably going to be a Sinister Six movie for Andrew Garfield.
Yeah.
I think it's smart.
I think the one thing that we talked about was that their continuity has always been the problem.
Always.
And in my opinion, if they were going to, they should have. I mean, we've talked about this. They should have rode the success of Wonder Woman and had her been the lead going forward. But yeah, they obviously hate Zack Snyder. and they don't want anything to do with him. So like what he did outdid what they did, what Warner Brothers did. They're like, okay, we need to just cut all ties.
People don't like what we're
thing.
doing, cut ties with him, and we're gonna start from scratch, build from the ground up.
Right.
Yeah. So since we'll stick with the nerdy stuff before the like truly miscellaneous stuff. Next thing that on our miscellaneous section was what Joe wanted to talk about.
Also, not yesterday, but the Wednesday before, the Book of Boba Fett premiered on Disney Plus. I've yet to check it out because I'm still 2 episodes left of The Witcher. But then that's going to be the next one I check out. So, yeah.
Thick. Well, I have not seen Mandalorian. I have not seen Book of Boba Fett. I've just had a hard time getting back into Star Wars after watching Episode 7. I just haven't. Yeah, it's just Star Wars has lost a lot of
the
interest
thing
to
with
me.
the last trilogy of Star Wars. The characters are awesome, but the story is definitely lacking. Like Kylo Ren's badass, Rey's badass, Poe Dameron's sweet, Finn's sweet, BB-8. Like all these characters are awesome, but the story just doesn't. You don't connect with the story.
Yeah, I like John Boyega a lot. I think it's funny that was the role that Tom Holland auditioned for.
Yeah, he said he bombed it, didn't he?
Yeah, he said he bombed it because during the audition, the lady that he was doing the line reads with was making the droid noises, and he couldn't stop laughing, and so he couldn't keep himself.
Yeah, it's like Elizabeth Olsen who tried to she auditioned for Daenerys Targaryen, but she bombed it. So,
well, the people that eventually got the roles were good. Tom Holland even said he thinks he could never have done a job that John Boyega did.
Right.
But yeah, so fun fact on Book of Boba Fett is it is the highest viewed premiere on Disney Plus. It surpassed all Marvel shows.
Nice.
So that's the one thing I know about it is that it was the highest viewership of a premiere on Disney Plus yet. Part of that I think is because as it goes on, Disney Plus is one of the cheaper streaming services, so more people are on there than the other streaming shows, and people love Star Wars. I think that was surprising. I didn't think it would surpass Loki, but that was one of the ones it mentioned. Was it surpass Loki, beat out WandaVision, beat out all everything, obviously everything. So cool. I might watch Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett, but maybe I'll give it a chance. I don't know if I will.
Sure.
Next thing, sticking with the last truly nerd topic, we play a game called Teamfight Tactics and League of Legends. We play, stream it on Twitch. We just want to talk about how, just real quick, Teamfight Tactics is this new set. Just slam Kaisa and you win. But if you are playing, just know that sometimes you may have 4 health left and just randomly lose. Or you might have a champion that you have in the game that just disappears between rounds. You lose them entirely, even if they have items, and it doesn't matter. I have a clip that I'll be posting of my champion just disappeared, just gone between rounds, which cost the game.
Yeah.
And Joe was playing. You got
playing today. I had 17 health. I got hit with all the minion damage. I got hit by the boom. It said it took 13 health away from me, so I'm sitting at 4. I'm waiting for the rest of the rounds to finish, and then I head back to my board and my screen explodes and it's gray.
New patch. So yeah, TFT is a little bit broken of a game sometimes here and there. This is the first set I've played, so I didn't know about all these bugs, but some of these bugs are pretty game breaking. Yeah. It kind of costs you, but other than that, extremely fun. But yeah, some pretty game breaking bugs going on. Last couple things. The next one is a California law, which I wanted to highlight because it's very cool. Like I mentioned, I've worked in food service, grocery store. New California law states that all food suppliers, grocery stores, and people that supply food must give non-spoiled food to food shelves, food rescues, and food banks. So I think that's pretty cool. I've always thought places I've worked, so much food waste. Just, I mean, they've talked about
just throw stuff away.
I think our estimated number was roughly $1 million a year worth of food that could be salvaged. So I think obviously that's a ton. That's $1 million worth of food. That is so much.
Right.
I worked
that seems low.
Right, it does seem low because that's the same amount of estimated food stolen by employees, which also kind of seems low, to be honest.
Yeah. Across the whole state.
No, that's per business. Like I were at
per
the
store.
Yeah,
Okay.
per
That sounds
company.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So for just our company, it was $1 million worth of salvage food and $1 million stolen. I think that's cool. I used to work at a stadium where I worked in the suites serving people food. I was just a server waiter. People got in trouble because after the first day of working there, people didn't realize how much food went to waste. A lot of people, this was their first job in the food industry, including one of my friends who she was, she grew up in a lesser lucky, not one of the lucky ones, kind of a poorer home. Didn't know a nicer way to say that, but yeah, poorer home. So she took an entire garbage bag food worth of home from the concession stands. She just went around picking up food, and she got in trouble, obviously, because they said if you get sick from that, they're liable, and it was all an insurance thing.
Sure.
And then my other friend went across the street and donated an entire trash bag of food to the homeless shelter that was right across the street from the stadium. He also got in trouble for the same thing, because if they get sick, insurance. Well, it seems like this law in California surpasses all that. So the insurance companies, if they do get sick from that salvage food, the insurance company is not to blame and that sort of thing.
Right.
That's awesome, because there are people out there that need the food, and there's no point in wasting it. It's just it all turns, food breaks down, turns into nitrogen, and creates more greenhouse gases, applies to warming. So
sure.
Yeah. Last couple things is we mentioned Betty White. We recorded it last week. We recorded our episode the night before Betty White passed away, so we gave her a huge shout out about turning 100. We even mentioned did an interview where she feels happy and healthy, and then the next day it was announced she passed away. So as I was editing, I felt absolutely awful, even though we were saying only nice things about her. It felt terrible. So I do want to say rest in peace, because she was
true legend.
I only wish every person in the world could die at 99 and still have everybody feel like she died too soon, or you died too soon.
Right.
You can't live a life better than that. So nothing extra I need to say about her. She's just truly, in my eyes, perfect. So last thing before we send you on your way is a quote from a tweet from our we mentioned in our sports section, but we have a sports section. Feel free to check that out. There's a guy on the Minnesota Vikings tweeted out, I accidentally gave my wife a glue stick instead of chapstick this morning. She still isn't talking to me. Thank you all for watching. This has been our Marvel/entertainment section. We do appreciate all of you. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow if you're just listening. We do appreciate every single one of you. We will be here every week. We hope you had a great holiday going into 2022. Hope it's better for everyone than 2020 and 2021 were for many people. And you're better looking than us, but you do look great today. So GG.
GG.